All right, we got Why Gatekeepers Don't Like Black People, by Christian Brunette. Other than the fact that these dudes are racist, they're white supremacists, they're losers. Let's see why else they hate black people.
Shadows game. He is based off a real.
But I don't know
person
why
who
he
was
calls
an
them
African
gatekeepers though. They don't gatekeep anything.
warrior that later became Japan's first recorded black samurai, serving the
Like,
powerful warlord.
like gaming culture is consumed by everybody. So I don't know why he's referring to them as gatekeepers. They don't gatekeep shit.
Oda Nobunaga
They're
during
not-
the
they're
late
not stopping
16th
nothing.
century. John Blackthorne is a character in the Shogun show who becomes shipwrecked in Japan. He is also based off a real English sailor who was the first Englishman to reach Japan. In the show, he becomes a samurai, which never happened in real life. I find both of these stories to be similar. Both
Bro, I gotta
Yosuke
watch.
and John.
I never watched Shogun. I gotta watch Shogun one day. It's just all in Japanese, and when I watch anime, I don't even like my anime in sub. So why would I watch a whole series, a live action series where everything is Japanese and nothing is English? But I'm sure the show is fire. Maybe one day I'll suck it up and I'll get around to watching it because I do got Hulu. But for now,
are foreigners who
I
ended
don't
up in
wanna watch
Japan,
it.
and both became samurai through different stories. But only one is hated with a passion by cultural gatekeepers. Today, most pictures of Yosuke have been edited to look like George Floyd, but these
Because
same
they're
self-appointed
racist.
protectors of Japanese culture did not complain about Blackthorne's presence or his inclusion in a Japanese setting. Something tells me, though, if Blackthorne was anything other than a pale Englishman, there would have been DEI
No problems.
complaints and people claiming he doesn't belong. This alone could be a full-length video on its own, but today, it's an intro.
the
A
West
cultural
self-appointed
gatekeeper. This is
guardians.
someone, often a group of people who act as protectors of communities they
Yeah,
do
but
not
to be a no. But to be a gatekeeper though, you can actually be a part of a community. Like, I'm not looking at the camera. To be a gatekeeper, you can actually be a part of a community. Like, for example, the black community, we gatekeep certain things, and we need to start gatekeeping more things because right now our culture is being consumed by everybody, and we're almost being erased. People are doing shit that they don't even know we started, and we're not getting no credit for it. They're literally stealing the way we talk right now and remixing it as Gen Z language or Gen Z speech when it's really African American vernacular English.
belong to. They are usually very obnoxious.
Yeah, they
A
are.
manga titled Half is More drops in Japan. It's a story about two siblings, children of a black French father and a Japanese mother, navigating identity, belonging, and what it means to be hafu in a country that has historically struggled with mixed race identity. Japanese readers embrace it. Critics celebrate it. It tops the prestigious Kono manga charts and rankings. This list is voted on by manga artists, editors, and booksellers. The country and people the story was made for, people whose culture it reflects, loved it. Then Viz Media announces an English language release, and
Announcement: being mixed race in Japan, like Kazumi, means facing daily trials of racism, microaggressions, and otherness. This is a journey of resilience, hope, and the search for coexistence. Half is More, Volume 1 by Yoiko Fujimi, releases summer 2026.
within hours, Western social media users are flooding the internet with racist edits of the cover, adding caricatures with exaggerated lips, fried chicken, and every degrading trope you can imagine. All of it aimed at a manga about the pain of racial discrimination, written by a mixed-race author drawing from her own life. The gatekeeper has entered the chat.
The white man. The chronically online white man has entered the chat. That's what the gatekeeper is. The chronically online
There's a
white
specific
man.
type of person we're going to
Who
talk about
doesn't
today.
talk to
Not the
nobody.
casual anime fan. I'm talking about something much worse. The cultural
What's-
gatekeeper.
Nah, what's worse than that? Than the racist anime fan who hates black people? What's worse than that?
Specifically, the Western, predominantly white gatekeeper
Oh.
who has appointed themselves the protector of Japanese culture. A culture they did not create, do not belong to, and were not asked to defend. And
I mean, but here's the thing though, they don't got no other culture. Like, the white American really has no culture. If you want to say the white American has culture, their culture is racism. That's their culture. But other than that, they don't got no culture to defend.
in most cases, aren't even
And when I say their culture is racism, their whole thing about gatekeeping Japanese culture is about racism. against black people. And like I said before, their only culture is racism.
Been educated on. As the losers who are complaining about Yasuke didn't even know he was a real historical figure in Japan. These are people who will call a black person's cosplay.
R.I.P. to, I forgot her name, but R.I.P. to her. She died. She committed suicide, actually. She didn't just die. Or is this even her? I don't know. This picture is distorted, but I think this is her. But a black woman who was a cosplayer committed suicide because she was receiving so many just so much harassment online from racists.
Inaccurate.
Saying
Let's say
that
nothing
this
to
character's
white
not black.
cosplayers
Why are you
cosplaying Asian
cosplaying
characters?
and
They
things
claim
of
to
those
care about
things of those
authenticity,
lines?
but the moment a Japanese work centers black or brown characters or is embraced by black and brown audiences, suddenly there's a problem. Unacceptable! My question is, who gave them that job? Well, no one. It's
Nobody.
entitlement, but more on that later.
Narcissism,
First, let's look
too.
at a brief history of Western hands in Japanese media. The West has been altering, censoring, and gatekeeping Japanese media for decades, usually without asking. When
I don't
anime
know
first hit
why,
America
bro.
in the 90s, companies like 4Kids Entertainment edited out and changed entire storylines. Death became the shadow realm. Cigarettes became lollipops. Queer characters and storylines were erased from shows like Sailor Moon. Viz Media openly admitted to censoring a lot of content to avoid, quote, controversy. Was any of this asked for by Japanese creators? A lot of content to avoid, quote, controversy. Was any of this asked for by Japanese creators? No. Was it asked for
Both
by
of those
Japanese
look crazy,
audiences?
though. Why did they make that
Absolutely
black
not.
man's lips
It was a
look like
Western
that,
industry
though?
making unilateral decisions about what Japanese art was allowed to say and to whom. The gatekeeping just looked more professional back then. Today it wears the face of a Twitter mob. The gatekeeping of anime isn't applied equally. It's disproportionately aimed at black fans, black cosplayers, and black characters. Black people have loved anime for years, just like any other group. You can't deny the black fandom that exists in anime and manga, from the conventions to the communities they built for themselves when the mainstream fandom made them feel unwelcome. And yet black cosplayers are routinely told their cosplays are inaccurate.
Because
black people
they're
who
black.
tweet about their favorite
Even
series
though these characters are not Caucasian, they're Japanese. So the only accurate cosplayers or cosplaying should be Japanese people cosplaying these characters, but they don't care as long as the person cosplaying does not have darker skin.
get bombarded with demands to prove they are real
Dickheads.
fans. Name every character, list every power, recite every arc, as if it's an entrance exam. This harassment isn't
many
random.
exams.
It's a pattern of exclusion dressed up as quality control.
Racism.
In late of last year, this pattern had a devastating consequence. A young
Yeah,
black cosplayer
I was
named
talking
Ash,
about this.
known
That's her
online
name,
as
Ash.
Squid Kid,
R.I.P.
died
Ash.
at just 19 years old. Ash had received relentless racist attacks for cosplaying characters that were traditionally Asian. The harassment was sustained, targeted, and lethal. This is the real-world cost of what some people still try to dismiss as just
Man, I hate that
gatekeeping.
happened.
The people who vandalized the Half Is More covers weren't protecting Japanese culture. They were just being racist. They took a work created by a mixed-race Japanese woman, celebrated by Japanese readers for its sensitivity, and turned it into blackface propaganda, all while convincing themselves they were protecting something. What's
They
funny
knew
is
they
that
wasn't
mixed-race
protecting shit.
Japanese are still Japanese. Unlike the gatekeepers, the levels of irony are insane.
Yeah, it
The
is.
outsider decides that the insider got it wrong. And this happens a lot. A black character gets announced in an anime, gatekeepers cry about forced diversity. In a Japanese property they have no creative ownership of. A black cosplayer portrays a beloved character. Unacceptable! Gatekeepers question their authenticity for engaging with a fandom those same gatekeepers claim to love. This is the question I've been pondering, and it took me a while to come to this answer. It would be too easy to say this is just racism, though it
Yeah.
absolutely is.
I mean, yeah, but that's too simple though. Just racism, that's a little too simple.
But there's a specific
It's gotta be
psychological
deeper than
structure
that.
underneath it worth identifying. For a certain kind of Western fan, the white one, anime and manga became a cultural refuge, a space that felt separate from mainstream Western media. Japanese pop culture felt like theirs, something they discovered, something that didn't yet belong to everyone. And for many of them, not belonging to everyone quietly meant not belonging to black and brown people. And don't get me wrong, black and brown people have all...
I don't think so. I think not belonging, or whatever he said, I think he meant like the person who's just normal.
Also been fans of Japanese media for forever. But when black audiences show up loudly and joyfully, when they cosplay, when they write fan fiction,
I think they meant like
TikToks,
the people who used to shove them in their lockers and take their lunch money and shit.
About their favorite characters.
That's who they
meant. When a manga centering black identity gets a global release,
not everybody else,
it shatters that illusion. The refuge doesn't feel exclusive anymore. They really have no problem with black fans. They just want you to be quiet about it. Don't engage in fandoms. Don't even have a voice in the fandom.
Don't say anything. Be quiet, you little
Instead of embracing all these people who share the same passion, the cultural gatekeepers fight to restore the refuge. That fighting turns into harassment. It turns into doctored cover art. It turns into a comment section telling a 19-year-old she doesn't belong. Japanese creators and audiences did not ask for this.
Literally.
Half as More was celebrated in Japan precisely because it tackled something real and uncomfortable about Japanese society. Yoiko Fujimi wasn't writing for Western approval. She was writing about her own experience.
Literally, I don't know why they just want to butt their heads in.
Japanese readers responded to that honesty. The Western gatekeepers who vandalized her work's reception weren't defending Japanese culture. They were imposing their own racial politics onto it. Anyways, despite all of this, I'd like to share some positives. Anime and manga are slowly expanding to include more black characters with depth and intention. Series like Lazarus and my personal favorite, Gachiakuta, have been praised for their portrayals. I really love Gachiakuta and highly recommend it.
I gotta watch more animes that's not just battle shonen, bruh. I only watch straight up battle shonen, but these other little animes be looking nice.
Creators, black studios, and black stories are finding their way into the medium. Not despite of Japanese culture.
Bro, I gotta make me I almost said a motherfucking. I gotta make me a manga one day, but it has to be a battle shonen or some kind of just something crazy, like, you know what I'm saying, a power system, some kind of tricky system.
But often in
I don't know what to do. I feel like it's all been done already.
Will still complain, but the fans, creators, and communities will keep showing up, keep cosplaying.
It's definitely gonna have some racial elements to it.
Keep writing,
some revolution.
And keep watching.
A lot of people
when they are
gonna
told
die.
They don't belong. Cultural belonging isn't a contest. It isn't determined by how long you've been watching or
oh my god, I gotta brainstorm. But I'm out though. I like this video. It's a good video. You know, these people are racist. We all know that. All right, I'm going.